What did I expect before the journey? A lot of expectations. I think the first expectation was that all the participants who went on this particular journey would come back changed. And I'm not just talking about the students, also the parents, the adults, the chaperones who went on the journey. This was my 11th trip. Each journey is different, each journey is important, each journey is powerful. Looking for the change, I think.
Before the journey, I expected to go see the concentration camps, and I hadn't really given a lot of thought to seeing the part of the city of Krakow. And it turns out that the city of Krakow was really interesting, and there were a lot of interesting things to see there, such as the Schindler Museum and the Galicia Museum.
I had seen the movie Schindler's List before, and back then it already preoccupied me a lot, and it made me think a lot. Even though there is a happy end to the story for those 1,200 Jews who survived, it makes you even more aware of the other 6 million Jews who didn't have the fortune to be on that list.
My role as a team leader, there were 5 of us, and we were all juniors. We acted as chaperones somewhat, but we were also supposed to be the student connection for the 10th graders. So if they were having emotional issues that they didn't want to talk, they didn't feel comfortable talking about with the teachers, we were supposed to be there for them. It was a good experience it's a lot of responsibility, and I think that during trips that students don't really realize how much responsibility and work is put into being the caretaker of students on the trip.
I saw a map with the different locations from which Jewish victims were deported to Auschwitz. And for my own family, I only knew that my family members were from a Polish village, and my parents, they didn't know where they were deported to. And then I saw that they were deported to Auschwitz, and I only found out then on the map.
It was full of names of all the Dutch victims who died in Auschwitz, and we just read some names, and we looked basically for my grandmother's dad, and we found his name, Ernest Waldner, and before we went there we didn't really know anything about him, but there it said his date of death, and we learned some stuff that we've never knew before.
I think the thing that impacted me the most about Auschwitz was the gas chambers, because as you went in there, you could see you literally stepped on the deathbed of thousands and thousands of people.
What impacted me the most was Birkenau, but because Birkenau, you could really see the history there. The burnt down buildings show that the Nazis didn't have much time to run away.
One of the students during the ceremony at Birkenau, when he was going through the book of pages of names, members of his family that had been killed and murdered in Auschwitz, in Birkenau, and in other places, going from page to page to page, and the names, we're talking about 20, 30, 40 names. The impact that that had on everyone was deep. There was a lot of sadness, of course, and it was really impressive to watch not just the adults, but the students take responsibility for each other, giving each other hugs, handing out tissues, taking walks with people, taking people aside, having them share information with each other. That to me, I think, was the most impressive thing.